This video is all about how to become an entitled bitch. And yes, if you want a soft life and you want to be a spoiled girly, you're going to have to get comfortable with being called entitled, with being called materialistic, with being called bougie, because all of these things are not really negative characteristics. They're just characteristics that other people frown upon because they're things that they feel like they can't really embody themselves. That's what we're going to start with. And so, how do you become an entitled spoiled girly? In order to walk you through this process, I need to give you some background information so you can understand where I come from and how I am now. And there's a big contrast. I grew up poor as hell, broke. Okay? It was not a nice life. And whatever you imagine broke to be in your head, it's not that. It's a lot less pleasant. Whoever said money doesn't buy you happiness was lying. They were bamboozling all of us. And then, magically, I went to a very good school. And so, education is the method that immigrant parents tell us to approach and utilize in order to ascend in status. And they weren't wrong to an extent. And so when I went from feeling like my very existence was a burden to seeing how everyone else around me was asking for a lot and getting exactly what they wanted, I was like, ding, 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 something has to change. And thank God for my observation skills, because otherwise I would not be the spoiled, beautiful girly that you see today. So step one, stop dating broke men. And I know we don't want to be mean people. I know we want to be considerate, we want to hold space, we want people to like us. But if you want to like you, that means releasing the need for other people to like you. And I just want to say morality is something that is constructed by the system in power, okay? And if the systems in power don't give a crap about you, then a lot of people are not going to like you. And usually the systems in power don't care about the individual. But yeah, you're going to have to stop dating broke men. And how do you do this, Kylie? Well, if you can see that a man can't afford something, or they're even acting like they can't afford something, you don't even go on another date with them. If investing in you feels like a burden, don't go on another date with them. That simple. Secondly, stop being friends with women who dislike you. And a lot of us see the red flags in our friendships and we ignore them. And we overlook them. And we're like, no, it's just my nervous system and I'm just... Most of human communication is non-verbal. No one's gonna straight up say, oh, I don't like you. Unless you're from New York, then they might. I'm from New York. New Yorkers are very direct like that. Okay? And when you're friends with women who don't like you, the common denominator is usually that you don't like yourself and that they also don't like themselves. Because people who like themselves surround themselves with people who like them. Am I making sense? I hope so. Number 3, say what you want. When you grow up poor, broke, without sufficient funds, you realize that whenever you say you want something, it shifts the energy because your family can't provide you with your desires. Especially if we're talking about fathers, men derive value in their ability to be masculine. And usually this looks like providing and protecting. So if a man can't provide or protect for the women who are under his domain, then they feel bad about themselves. And as children, we pick up on this heaviness. And it's unfortunate because children shouldn't have to bear the burden of figuring out what makes their parents comfortable. stop treating men like they're your best friends. They're not. Men see us as trophies. They see us like they see their cars. And if you think the men in your life are better than that, you're wrong. You're delusional. And it's good to be delusional when it serves you. But the quicker you understand that men see us like they're Pokemon, like we're Pokemon cards, the more easier your life will get, because the less you'll feel like you have to emotionally placate them. I follow Manifestel. She spoke on this a little. And I've also made posts about this before, but every time I make posts about this, it upsets the girlies. And I hate that you guys get upset, but men bond through vasopressin, which is a stress hormone. So yes, stress them out. And don't stress them out in the way that you think. Stress them out by making them solve problems in order to see you. This looks like letting them figure out where they're gonna take you on a date, letting them figure out your mode of transportation once you're comfortable with them, letting them figure out a solution to why you're really stressed and don't feel emotionally available to see them. Of course, this happens once you know each other a bit. That takes me to my next point. Because men see you, you beautiful feminine woman, as a Pokemon card, that means that you're not going to be trying to earn their validation, because they're constantly trying to earn your validation. You are the prize here. And please, for the love of God, don't go telling a man that you're the prize. You can't rationalize your worth to a man. He's going to look at you, he's going to see how you move, he's going to see how entitled you are, he's going to see how you assume that you deserve good things, and he's going to assign you worth. And this looks like mate value in scientific terms. And the way you can raise your mate value is, one, be entitled. Be entitled, and this is going to show in your body language. And that's why it's so important that you learn how to invest in yourself, that you learn how to see yourself as a valuable asset. Because if you see yourself as anything other than an asset, you're going to move through the world as a liability. Secondly, know how to treat a man like a man. You can't love a man into him loving you. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. This is just how the game goes. You have to love yourself and be confident that you're going to attract someone who adores you from you loving yourself. And what's the third one? I'm blanking. Your aesthetic, being beautiful. Yes, beauty is important, but it's not as important as people make it out to be. Because successful men with access to lots of resources, they will never, ever, ever, I pinky promise you, trade in someone who they can rely on in terms of confidentiality, in terms of intellect, in terms of essence and respectability. They won't trade that in for someone who is just beautiful, because they have way too much to lose. Next point, call men out when they're being disrespectful, or just stop talking to them altogether. My favorite thing to do is stop talking to them altogether, because you should know how to act when you approach me. But sometimes if it's really small and very slight, and this will occasionally happen because humans like testing other people to see how much they can get away with. This isn't just a man thing, this is a man and woman thing. I'll call them out on it, because absolutely not. In what world was that okay? Not in my world. Try again. My next point is, don't move out the way when you're walking. And this goes back to the body language thing. When you think you're amazing and you're worthy of being adored and honored and cherished and invested in, you're gonna realize this affects every part of your life. From having people open the door from you, from having people press buttons in the elevator, from having people spontaneously gift you things, or even having people provide for you. And that's a big one. You're gonna feel like you are worthy of these things because you are, because you're a woman, because your feminine energy literally graces people with joy and happiness and pleasure and esteem. Act like it. Ugh, I'm tired of the insecure energy. You are a baddie. And if you don't feel like a baddie right now, I promise you, being hot, being cute is a choice. There's this video on YouTube that is titled A Hill I'll Die On. Being beautiful is a choice. I didn't watch it, but the title alone makes me agree. An affirmation for your entitled soft girl life is life gets to be easy, life gets to be fun. And if you want other affirmations and you're interested in your feminine energy journey, one which leads to a soft life, go get my feminine energy guide. It's going to be linked in this description. Once you meet men who are willing to invest in you because they have the means to and they just think you're that beautiful and pleasant to be around, you're gonna completely see how we've been bamboozled into thinking that we have to earn a man and his validation. And it's gross and it's cringe, and we need to do better because we deserve more. Because we are the source, as Manifesto would say.